Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start assembling cabinets. In our previous video you saw us build an island, and in the meantime we sprayed 2 coats of sealing white on all these ceilings. We used yellow frog tape on the crown and then paper and plastic below that to cover all the furniture. And in fact the ceiling is still drying, but it looks fantastic.
It does.
I'm so glad we moved these vents, and right here where our beams are, you know, it just goes away. All our good work is covered up once again.
But this time we have evidence.
That's right. So before we start building cabinets, so this line represents the top of our upper cabinets. And the reason we did our crown and all the painting ahead of time was because the cabinets would be in the way of putting up the crown and painting in the crown. So we're going to take it one step further. We're going to apply the wall color from here just down about that much starting with this, where our new drywall is by the back door, all the way to that window. That way, when we put our cabinets up, all the wall is painted, and we're done. We don't have to try to reach over, and we're going to actually give it 2 coats. So let's come down here. Our paint was already mixed, but can you see this on top?
I can.
It needs to be mixed more. So we already have our stir and the drill. So let's mix that and cut that in real fast.
Get started.
Quick. All right. Hey gang, I want to show you a little tip here of how I cut in sometimes. So I'm just gonna do it, and then I'm gonna explain it. I mean, I can cut in pretty fast, just like that. We're gonna make it perfect. Check this out. You see that? Look how nice that looks.
Look at the difference.
Yep. And I'm gonna finish it right here. Beautiful.
Woo!
So you saw me do this, and that's done with tape.
Right.
You gotta have a good rag. This is like thick t-shirt material, and then a nice putty knife where the corners aren't really sharp. You can knock them down with a file if you want. And then just one time over the blade and make a pass, not square, but that the tailing edge, the leading edge is off the crown, a little like that. And you're just gonna have to practice with it. And then you can see every time I make a pass, I get a clean part on the rag. And then I'm also hardly getting any paint on that edge.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to spend all your time cleaning off paint.
Right.
So that's my little trick on how I cut in like that. I've never really seen it anywhere before, and I really didn't want to share, but Jordan made me.
It's the little things.
Yep.
Cool.
And you can see how fast that is.
Yeah, it is quick.
Yep. Now it only works on, you know, this isn't smooth, it has a little texture. You saw the texture, and it's working. But if this were an acoustical ceiling or popcorn, you'd have a hard time because the knife needs a straight edge to follow, a flat edge to follow. All right, let's get going and knock this out. All right, we got our paint done, and you can just see what a nice fine line that is with that putty knife trick. So try it, practice it, and let us know what you think about it. You can see over here, we already have one of the corner cabinets built, and this is exactly why we had to put the crown up and get all that painted first, because there's no way we'd be able to get in here. So we already built one, so let's unpack this one, and we're going to show you a couple little tips we learned. Let's get this one unpacked. All right, we have everything unpacked and leaned against this wall, and the reason we do that is we want to familiarize ourselves with the parts, make sure we have all the parts. And here's one thing we noticed that is not in the instructions. These are our shelves. The bottom shelf, the middle shelf, and the top. These two pieces of plywood, that's that side of it. And then you have the maple side. The third piece has maple on both sides.
How come?
So on the bottom shelf, this will go down. So when you open the cabinet, you see the maple. And the one with the maple on both sides is your middle shelf, because you'll see this and you'll see this. And we'll make this our top shelf and put that towards the ceiling. That way maple is always on the interior. And again, the instructions don't mention that at all. It's just something we noticed, and that's how we're going to build them. So we've got one of the sides already up here. And I think, are we just going to throw you into a time lapse?
We're just gonna build it.
Yep. All right, here we go. All right, we've got these 5 built. Now we call these RTA cabinets, ready to assemble. Unfortunately, we do not have a name brand for you. We purchased them locally. They were not shipped to us. There is not a name brand on the box. So we really can't help you there. They are really nice. You can see all dovetail construction on the drawers. Undermount drawer glides, soft close, and soft close hinges on the doors. So we really love them. So as much fun as that was, we're going to call it a day. Today's our 30th wedding anniversary, so I'm going to go home and celebrate with my wife, and we'll hit it tomorrow. We'll build more tomorrow. We'll try to get all these done and start installing cabinets. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey gang, it's the next day. We are about to assemble the corner cabinet that has, it's a Lazy Susan corner cabinet. We're using the island as an assembly bench. We've got a blanket over it just to protect the cabinets. And what we have, I have all the parts sorted out. Now we have parts here that are not on the parts list. And there are parts on the parts list that we don't have. So it's pretty frustrating. So you're not alone if you are putting together one of these things and you come across the instructions that that don't make any sense. So we're gonna figure this out. And for instance, this is a Lazy Susan cabinet, but it makes no mention at all of the Lazy Susans. So what the heck, guys? So we will figure this out. So
maybe that's why there's not a name brand.
maybe not. So let's just put these two together. We are going to glue some of these joints. It doesn't call for glue, but we think it makes for a stronger cabinet. So if you're going to use glue, give yourself a fighting chance and use Tite Bond 3 Ultimate. It doesn't set up as quickly, so if you make a mistake and have to take it apart, you can without ripping things apart.
Yeah, I mean, how could you make a mistake?
With such clear instructions,
Right.
I don't know.
Now let's figure this thing out.
All right, so I actually just drilled through this dado in 3 spots, and then I flipped it over and I countersunk it.
Cool.
So we are ready to go with that.
All right, let's put this back piece on.
Yep, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue at the brackets. I don't see the point in gluing the whole thing. So that's that. And that will stand up. And what we're doing, we're making sure that this dado for this bottom shelf lines up. Like that would be bad. So just adjust it till it's right. And then attach it. So, and right here, we're leaving these loose until we get it assembled, and then we'll tighten everything. So we're ready for these 2, 4, 6, and we'll tighten all 12. step 4, it says attach toe kick on. So we flipped it over on the ground so we could work right here in our toe kick. And then we realized that these go like that. So 2 dowels go here, and then 1 screw there to hold it together. So let's do that real fast. All right, we did step 4, attach toe kick on. And then we did step 5, turn the carcass stand, which we think just meant right side up.
Sure, flip it over. What's the next step?
This is easy. Insert back panel through the groove. Now, there was no groove, but the back panel did have a dado for this shelf. So remember when we started, we said use Ultimate 3? Well, we had to loosen these screws, or take these 2 out, so that this piece and this piece would allow that to slide past the shelf. Now we're good. And it's fastened here, and here, here, and here. All right. Attach the face frame long and short, then screw up. All right.
What'd you call me?
This doesn't read the instructions, dude. Attach face frame long and short, comma, then screw up.
All right.
That's what it says. All right. So this is where I'm getting to be like, at some point we got to put these in because we won't be able to put them in later. But I think once the face frame is in, we can still get them in.
Hey, trust the instructions.
And while I'm on the subject of these, I kind of inspected these beforehand, and 3 of these screws were missing. So I went back in the box, and there they were, laying in the bottom. So I repositioned all 4 so that they were nice and tight. So never throw away your boxes until you're all done.
Nice.
All right, we have the face frame short and long attached, and before we screw up, we noticed that these side panels weren't seating in the dados. And it was because of this radius right here from the, I'm sure this was cut on a CNC router. So we're going to square that off. Let's try that. Okay, we got our face frames attached right here. Remember we had to notch that little piece. And then when we put our level on this one, we noticed it had a little bit of a, well, it was high here and high here, and that's because this clip was keeping it out. So we took that clip off and pushed it back, and now it's straight.
Boom.
That would have caused a lot of grief later. So we just check everything nice and flat. And now we're going to attach it to the wall. There was existing 2x4 blocking in there, and we know that it's right here. It extends 1 inch below our line. And the cabinets need to go up to that line. So we had some pressure treated left over, so we cut some blocks. And then we're going to make it perfect with shims. So the pressure treat is going to sit on the slab. The shim on top will lift the cabinet right on that line, and we'll screw it off.
Cool.
All right, we have our corner cabinet perfectly installed. We spend a lot of time on this one because it really establishes this set of cabinets and this set of cabinets. It is just kissing the chalk line that we established with our laser beam. Here, and here, and here. We have shims behind it here to get it plumb in 2 directions. And then we have our pressure treated blocks and 4 shims on the bottom. So now we're ready to start building these cabinets. But before we do that, we want to get rid of this tile, because remember we said we don't ever want to put cabinets on top of a finished floor in case we ever change the tile. They would never be able to get that out. So we've already measured where to cut. We're going to cut on this side of that blue line, that blue tape rather. We just put some tape down because we would never be able to see a pencil line or anything like that, or a chalk line. So we've got our hearing protection. We've got safety glasses. I think we're ready to go.
Let's get it.
Hey guys, I brought what I call my pogo stick today. I bought this from McMaster Car. It's Pacific Pneumatic. You get the model number?
It's a little difficult. PS3B5.
All right. And It doesn't like to run on small 1/4" air hoses, so I've got my 3/8 on there. My compressor barely keeps up, and I bought this because we do enough of this where it was justified that I could purchase one, and you just can't rent these. I've never seen them anywhere. So watch how nicely this works.
Dang.
Well, that wasn't really a fair demonstration because tile usually doesn't pop up that easily. But let's see what it does with that thin set. There's a little thin set left. We'll give you a better demonstration later on some tile that's really adhered well, but you can get the idea. That thing just flies.
Yeah.
You're not on your knees scraping up tile with a hammer and a chisel.
Cool.
So let's clean this up and start building more cabinets. Hey gang, it's a couple hours later. We've got this cabinet built and installed. We've been building drawers as we go. I think we've done 6 already. And we built this cabinet. What happens with this one is we're going to put a microwave drawer in right here to maximize counter space. So I have to remove this rail. And I just put a piece of blue tape on it as a visual for me to cut this one and not that one because that would be pretty bad.
Bad day.
Yes. So I've already used my rare earth magnets. You've seen me use these to locate studs in other videos. A lot of people ask about them. We get them from Lee Valley Tools, and they are 1/8 by 3/4 rare earth magnets. We just went over this area right here just to make sure there wasn't like a corrugated fastener or something in the back. So we're pretty confident this is just a doweled connection. We're about to find out, aren't we?
Yep.
You see that tape I put on there? That's just one layer of tape. I'm going to let the blade just kiss that so we don't harm this finish. And we'll give it a shot, see what happens.
All right.
No dowels, look at that.
Wow.
Hey, that came out great. You can just picture a microwave drawer right here, and there'll be a pull-out drawer down below. I went to the appliance store this morning. I picked up the cut sheet. These are called cut sheets. I don't know why. I guess it's because it tells you where to cut your cabinets that you just spent a lot of money on. So there'll be a whole separate video just on that. If you're liking this video and all our other videos, please consider giving us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. We would really appreciate that. I've built all the uppers for this side of the kitchen. We have one left, and it's right here. But if you notice, we've been gluing and screwing the connection right here, just so that it's very, very strong. They get these clips for the inside, but we just prefer that. However, I can't do that on this cabinet because both of these sides will be visible. These all get covered up by other cabinets. So I asked Jordan to hide that drill bit from me so I can't screw it up. So let's get started.
Let's get started.
All right, we have all the upper cabinets for this section of the kitchen built. Our next step is to install them.
Hang them up.
What we're going to do, we've already established this chalk line is the bottom of the upper cabinets. The homeowner had one request, and that was that she can put her stand mixer on the counter and slide it back under the uppers. We actually measured it. It is 16.5 tall. So this line represents the top of my counter. That line, top of the cabinet. And then once we account for the 3/4 inch subtop and the 3/4 inch stone, this is the top of the counter. And I actually wrote it on there. So then we measured up 16.5 inches is the height of the mixer. And by the time we accounted for the light rail, which we'll show you later, we established this is the line for the bottom of the upper cabinets.
And we don't want the cabinets to be too high.
Right. Didn't want to go too high.
Right.
So it was a compromise. So we cut these strips of plywood with my track saw, so they are perfectly straight. This one has a factory edge, which we're going to make sure we don't use. But we're going to put one here and one there. We're going to span the window, and that'll be a ledge to sit our cabinets on while we attach them to the wall. Let's get it done. All right, those are up. We're almost ready. Now, in a previous video, you can go back and you can see where we added blocking right here, and there was existing blocking up at the top. We've already taken the measurements for this one. We know how far down to come from the top of the cabinet. In other words, when we come down 5 3/4 from here, we'll always be in the center of our block. Now, another nice thing about these cabinets is these backs, it's all solid 1/2-inch plywood. So we can put a screw anywhere in the back, knowing that we have a strong back. It's not like this cabinet right here, where we have this 1/4-inch plywood. That would be no good. So these are going to be pretty simple. So we'll put the corner one in, just like we started with the corner on the bottom cabinets. We're going to start the corner cabinet on the top. And the only thing left for us to do before we put them up is to drill a hole in the bottom for the wire for our under cabinet lights.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice. Woo!
Look at that.
Hey.
Nice. Well, that's going to be a wrap for today and on this video. We got a lot of cabinets done this week. It's only Thursday. Today we got all these uppers in. All that planning way back in the previous videos with the laser and the blocking. It all paid off today. These went up super quick. We didn't even need shims behind them.
No shims.
Nope. Nice soft close. And then right here, we put these up first. 1, 2, 3, 4 cabinets. And that gave us this measurement right here. What that allowed us to do was to get the same measurement here. So when you're at the sink, you have symmetry here. And then this was the last one we put up. Right here, where the drywall is open, that's because we have to move the drain and the hot and cold water supplies for the farm sink. The farm sink actually arrived yesterday, unbroken, so we're excited about that.
Nice.
So we're going to engineer this whole thing tomorrow. Get our sink base, get the right height, so everything lines up with our stone countertop. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. Over here we have our microwave drawer. And as it turns out, this is the perfect height. We just need to add a filler here and a filler here and add a shelf. So we're going to do all that also. You'll see that in a video. Anything else, Jordan?
No, I think that's it. We got a lot of custom work coming up.
Yep. And now you can really see how we had to do the crown and all that painting beforehand, because there's no way to get up there now.
Nope.
So we hope you liked the video. Be sure to leave us some good comments below. We really enjoy the comments. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
All right, good job.